You are
His parents, William Tyrell. His dad. Oh, sorry. And this is his mom, Rosanna Tyrell.
Are you familiar with what he did today?
We're familiar with what they said. We don't agree that that's right. We also agree that he's being held accountable.
This is where accountability officially enters the room. The judge isn't debating guilt or innocence anymore. This is about compliance. Probation isn't optional, and every failed test turns supervision into a ticking clock. At this point, the system is asking one question: can he follow rules or not?
For things that aren't really applicable in this case. You know, and
I'm asking him not to use drugs or alcohol.
I know.
That's all I'm asking him to do. And he's constantly testing positive, and now he's taking a Whizinator into the room.
Well, it's wrong. So we don't want.
He can be charged criminally for that. That's an offense.
And this is a critical legal moment. Falsifying a drug test isn't just a violation, it's a brand new criminal charge. A Class B misdemeanor means jail time is no longer hypothetical. One bad decision just multiplied the consequences.
In and of itself, falsifying your drug test, it's a Class B misdemeanor. You're facing another 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
What about, I mean, our concern and his concern is simple. This girl.
I'm not,
I know.
no, we're not talking about the case. We're talking.
What is the case?
No, we're talking about the ability to remain clean and sober, first and foremost. We're not even talking about the case at this point. We're only talking about remaining clean and sober. He's repeatedly been unable to do that. And now he's trying to fool us.
Listen to the judge's tone here. This isn't anger, it's exhaustion. Courts can be patient, but patterns erase sympathy. When deception replaces honesty, mercy starts slipping through your fingers.
Well, he has an issue that we know.
May I
You
say
know.
something, Ron? Okay.
I think what needs to happen is I think the first thing you need to do is you need to talk to your lawyer before you make any statements.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I'm going to say is that I'm extremely upset, disappointed, and taking you into custody. You know, you've repeatedly failed to appear for court. You've repeatedly tested positive for a lot of substances, and now you're trying to fool us yet again. It's unacceptable, and there has to be accountability, and you need to accept that you can't continue to do what you're doing. Mr. Tyrell, you're digging yourself into a hole that you cannot crawl out of. This monkey on your back will be there for the rest of your life, and if you don't get out of it now, you're going to be.
This is the speech judges give when they're trying to save someone from themselves. Monkey on your back isn't metaphor, it's prophecy. He's describing a future the court sees every single day.
70 years old with the continual on your back, in and out of custody. You're so messed up right now, you can barely open your eyes, man.
Your Honor.
And I don't know if you're enabling it or you're closing your eyes because of the love that you have as a father, but
He has severe ADHD and severe Tourette syndrome. And we put him in a recovery center, and we told them, we sent him the documentation. They told us every day they were getting the medication they ever did. Never did, until they finally refused to answer my phone calls because I kept calling him up what he needs to be on. I said, this ADHD medicine robs him of his chemicals and his dopamine chemicals in his brain. And he goes, he uses drugs to put them back. And I said, the Tourette's makes him not make good decisions. It's not a good combination. And they said, yes, that's the case in almost many drug addicts with ADHD. And they wouldn't fix it, right? And so I got pretty upset with him because he got out and he had a pill bottle that he got the day he got out. They had never given him any pills the entire time he was there for these things. So I agree that it's a bad problem and a wrong problem, but I also agree it's not entirely his fault because he's got a chemical imbalance that nobody is addressing and never has. He's had this since he was a young child.
This is where the case gets complicated. Addiction, ADHD, Tourette's, this isn't denial, it's explanation. The court now has to balance compassion with public safety, and that balance is one of the hardest calls in criminal justice.
They've addressed his Tourette's, but they've never addressed the ADHD. And I didn't know until I spoke to a doctor a week ago, or a couple of weeks ago, before he went into the rehab. And the doctor said, they said, so he's got he said he's got ADHD. And I said, yeah. And he says, does he have a problem with drugs? And I said, yeah. And he goes, why isn't he on Ritalin? And I go, what do you mean? He says, that's what Ritalin is for. And if he was speaking apparently from personal experience, so we tried to get him on Ritalin. They wouldn't do that because it's a substance itself, and they said that he could be abusing that substance. So we tried to get him on a secondary substance that's non-abusive. We have fought for weeks, months, and we can't. We finally got him a prescription just as he's now out and back in trouble. So I only beg that we don't want him on drugs, right? But we understand that maybe there's some underlying compassionate issues, right? And I mean, I'd like to beat this again, but that doesn't work.
And it pains me because I think that as a father and as a mother, due to love, a lot of times, and I don't know necessarily you, but people tend to kind of shut their eyes and become naive to the fact that they're using, and I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm talking about cocaine. I'm talking about meth.
Be careless. He's got a license for marijuana.
So regardless,
any heavy drugs, the cocaine or anything that's going to cause him a lifelong problem, no. I want him off of that stuff. But he's been in rehab 3 or 4 times. That doesn't really work. So I don't know what does work.
You got to want it. One of the main things is you got to want it. But be that as it may, he's trying to fool us, and it's unacceptable. And there has to be accountability for it. I can't just let him go when you're using a Whizinator to try to fool us. It's unacceptable, and there has to be accountability. And the problem is that I think that what we need to do now is have him evaluated by our clinicians to see how we go forward. Okay. So what I'd like to do is, while he's in custody now, I can have it done in a very expedited manner. I can have it done within, today's Tuesday? We can hopefully have a report back by Friday to see, at the latest Monday, to see how we go forward. Our clinicians can talk to him, and if he's honest, figure a way to go about doing this. And I'm going to tell you now, while I have him here, I can pay everything for you, so you don't have to pay for a dime. If you're on the outside, though, I can't pay for it.
We can forward you doctor's records and things like that.
My only concern and the only thing I want now is our clinicians to be able to speak to him to see where we go forward. Mr. Terrell, I'm going to have you what's called TRAS to see, it's an evaluation to see where we go from here. If we get this TRAS back and it tells me that your little bunny's jumping in the woods and that there's no problems, then I know that you weren't honest, and I'm going to make you go do it right back again. And we're going to continue to do it until you're honest. But, you can.
This is the line in the sand. Evaluation isn't punishment, it's the final checkpoint. The judge is offering resources, money, time, but only if honesty shows up. Lie again, and the system stops asking questions.
Lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself. You can't be like this forever. At some point, you're going to be a habitual, and you're looking at 25 to life.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience, but
you don't have to. And I'm really, truly sorry.
He did man up and come in. He wasn't going to. We had to fight with him and beg with him. He didn't
to come in.
He didn't want to.
Of course. No one wants to go to jail.
And because he said, I said, he's not going to put you in jail. He goes, yes, he will. And I said, no, he has a heart. He's not going to put you in jail. He knows that you have a problem. The problem is the issue, stopping the thing that's causing this is the issue.
Your last name, Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
We've tried that. I gave him to you.
But he didn't. We tried it. But like I said, underlying cause, which we've only just recently found, or
They've
found that
never
it may, that
treated the
they've never treated.
symptoms.
I understand.
And
I
so here
understand.
he's untreated and still being treated like it's a normal case, and it's not really.
I tried. I've given him back to you guys. I've asked him repeatedly to stay sober and not use, and he continues to do so. No matter how many times I give him to you, it's
That's being
going
caused by something.
to continue, and you have to realize it. And if you think that just him saying, okay, I'm going to stop, or the Ritalin is going to make it stop,
As for many people.
it may have. And yes, it may have.
So how long are you putting him in for?
I don't know. For now, I would like to have him TRAS to see where they go. My feeling is that they're probably going to say that he needs inpatient rehab,
Which he's already been to.
not in the jail.
Yes, he has.